Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be going over some basics of how to use Google Docs. This is definitely for beginners. It's for those of you who maybe have never used it before or are unfamiliar with it. If you want me to make a more advanced video on the topic, please let me know in the comments, and please give this video a thumbs up if you like it and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's start with how to actually get to Google Docs. Google Docs isn't a program that you download to your computer. It's a web-based program. I'm going to be using Google Chrome since that's my preferred web browser, so yours might look slightly different. But all you have to do is go to docs.google.com and hit enter, and then it will take you to a page like this. As you can see in the upper left hand corner, we know that we are in Google Docs, and you might have to sign in to your Gmail account if you are not already signed in. Now this is what the home screen of Google Docs look like. As you can see here, you're going to have recent documents, and this is going to be either documents that you've created for yourself or that have been shared with you. If you just want to do documents that you've created, you can just select owned by me, but the default is going to be owned by anyone. You can change from a table view to a list view. You can also change the sorting options: last opened, last modified, and last modified by me, or title, which should be alphabetical. You can also open up a file and upload it into Google Docs if you want to do that as well. At the top right here, you're going to see start a new document. So you can start a blank document with this big plus sign right here. These are also some suggestions of templates from Google Docs. To get started, let's just open up a blank Google Doc by clicking this plus sign right here. Now that you are in Google Docs, this is what it's going to look like, and you're basically going to use this just like you would any other word processor like Microsoft Word or Pages or anything that you normally use to type documents. It's going to start by giving you an untitled document. If you just double click into that field, as you can see, it will highlight, and then you can rename it. So we can name this document 1, and it's automatically going to save in a folder in my Google Drive. That's where everything is saved to on Google Docs. It is saved to your Google Drive. If you're not familiar with Google Drive, I have a link to a video in the description on how to use Google Drive. But you see this little folder at the top left corner of your screen right here will tell you which folder in your drive your document is saved to. You can also move it if you want by clicking on this icon right here and then selecting a location where you can move your folders to, or creating a new one. For example, we'll call this new folder, create, and then we can click on move if you want to move your documents to a new folder. As I mentioned before, you can use Google Docs basically the same way you would use Microsoft Word by just typing in notes that you want. You can use this to share, collaborate with other people. So if you're going to be typing notes for a project or something for work, you can type everything in here and share it. Currently, it's not shared with anybody, but I could share it, and then we could all collaborate together. And you can see when somebody else is in the document making changes or what they've added, all within Google Docs. It's really helpful for collaboration with other people. So let's move on to an example of what it would look like if I shared this document with somebody. I will just go up here to the top right corner of your screen and then click on share right here. And we can add people and groups. I will just add myself right here as a collaborator, and I can send a message to the person that I am collaborating with. For example, this person can now edit the document if I want them to, and if I don't, I can decide to just make them a viewer alone or a commenter. So if you want to just show somebody something and you don't want them to be able to make any edits whatsoever, you can use them as a viewer, or you can give them opportunities to comment on your document if you want them to be able to do so. Now, if you click on notify people, when you send it, it's going to send an email to this person to tell them that the Google Doc has been shared with them. You can also copy the link right here and send it to them in a separate email if you've already drafted one and just want to include the link. You can click on these settings to see additional settings for sharing Google Docs. Now, editors can change permissions and also share. So you can turn that off as well. If you want to have full administrative control over the document, you can allow editors to make edits but not change permissions or share it with anybody. You can also not give people the ability to download, print, or copy. Again, if it's something more confidential that you don't want to be downloaded to people's personal computers or printed or copied, just go ahead and check this. But for the purpose of this video, I'll keep them checked on. Now, here's what it looks like when somebody emails you that they've shared a document with you, or if you're sharing a document, here's what the email sent to the person you're sharing it with will look like. If you want to open the document that they sent you, just scroll down and click on the blue button right here, and it will take you to the shared document. Now, as you can see, if we go up here, it says shared with one person. And if I click on it, I can see who it's shared with. It's shared with this person right here, and it's myself. I am the owner. The default mode in Google Docs is going to be editing mode. And this is where you can just type whatever you want in your document. You can make any edits or changes. And if you want to change it to viewing mode, then you can view it, but you can't make any changes. For example, I'm typing right now and no text is coming up. Now, if you want to change it back to suggesting mode, it is great for collaboration because it allows somebody to type in information, for example, but it's going to pop up as a suggestion for the documents, not as a regular text, as you can see. And if this note is for one specific person on your team or your group, you can specifically tag them here by using the add button. If you decide you want to remove the suggestion, you can click reject suggestion, or if you want to keep the suggestion, you can go on to accept suggestion. You also have the option of adding a document tab, which is great again for workspaces and collaborations. If you want to have multiple documents under one main document, you can click on this button right here and you see a second document. You can go ahead to duplicate. You can add a sub tab. For example, we are going to name this sub tab Christmas Party Suggestion. Now we're going to talk about the outline for this document tab. So since we're using the Christmas Party Suggestion as a theme, you can go on and add decorations, food, and location for the party. I'll just add some spacing. If I want these sections to have people write suggestions underneath, I can highlight this, and where it says normal text, I'll just go to the drop down menu and then click on heading 1. As you can see, it has created a section within our document for decorations. If I do the same thing for food, go to normal text and select heading 1. Now there's a section for food, and we'll do the same for location. Now, if I want to jump to a specific part in the document, I can just click on that section and it will take me right there. Headings can be great, especially if you're going to have a larger document and you want people to be able to skip specific sections. The outline is a really great tool to do that because these are actual clickable links to take you to different sections within your document. Now, if you aren't seeing this document tabs and outline section in your Google Docs, or maybe you've closed the document outline and you want to get it back, you have the option of clicking this right here, or you can go to the view option and then click on expand tabs and outline sidebars, and it will pull this up for you. Another important thing to know about Google Docs is you can make them available offline, which is really important. For example, if you're going somewhere without internet, or if you want to edit something on a flight where Wi-Fi is not available, if you go to the file option here, click on it, then scroll down and select make available offline, and you can see our document is now available offline. If you go somewhere without Wi-Fi, you can still edit this document. Another great thing about Google Docs is it will automatically save your changes every once in a while. As you can see here, if we want to see the document status, we can click on this cloud and it says all changes are saved to the drive. So we don't have to constantly save our document for fear of the web crashing. It will continuously save our documents. And as you can see right here, the last edit was 2 minutes ago. And we can actually open the version history this way so we can see changes that have been made. And if we click on highlight changes, they will be highlighted in green. Now I'm going to show you some page setup options. If we go to File and click on Page Setup, Here are some different changes we can make. You can change the orientation from portrait to landscape. You can change the paper size if you're going to be printing in a custom size. You can change your margins, and you can also change the page color if for whatsoever reason you want to be editing on a pink background. You can do that, for example. And then if you decide you don't want that, you can go back to file and then click on page setup and then take it back to normal. You can also set any of these options as your default once you change them. Now, if you prefer half-inch margins or maybe 1.5-inch margins, you can set that as default as well. Now for pageless, pageless is basically, as you can see here, Google Docs is showing you what it looks like. It gives you the entire page, allows you to add wide images and tables and consume content without interruption of page breaks. You can also change the background color of the pageless setup by choosing any color of your choice right here. If you're not sure who shared the Google Doc with you, or you can't remember if there are a lot of people within the document, if you go to file like so, then scroll down to details, it will tell you who the owner of the document is, when it was created, and where it is located as well if you can't remember what folder you put it in. This document details section can be really important. If you want to show the word count in your document, which I know is important for a lot of people, especially with homework assignments, if you go to Tools and then click on Word Count, it will tell you what your word count is. But you can also display the word count while you are typing by clicking on this icon right here. Now this will give you a running word count. So if we are adding more words, now we have 3 words added. If you scroll down on this drop down menu to tell you number of pages, number of words, number of characters, and number of characters excluding spaces, which is really wonderful, something I certainly wish I had when I was in school. Another great feature that Google Docs has is voice typing. If I wanted to dictate a sentence, I'll just go to Tools and then click on Voice Typing. I can click this microphone. You might have to allow the microphone to be used on your web browser like so. Now it is red, and as you can see, it's dictating what I am saying and turning it into text. You can also dictate punctuation like comma, and it's incredibly accurate, period. When you're done, just click on the red microphone again and it will go back to this right here. You can also change the language by clicking on this drop down menu here and selecting a language of your choice if you're going to be dictating in a different language. If you want to use spell check on Google Docs, right up here where there's a little A with a check mark, you can click on this to check spelling and grammar. And as you can see, this now, while we were dictating, was not capitalized. We can now change this to this suggested one here, and now it says there are no available suggestions to review. Our document looks good. We are done with our spelling and document check. And that's it for today. Like I mentioned, if there's more you're interested in learning about Google Docs, leave a comment and I can make a part 2 of this. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Bye.